What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about power mods for your 3rd gen Tacoma, and this will be part 1 of 2 videos, so make sure you guys watch the second one after we're done with this one. But this one will be specifically for the 3rd gen Tacoma. We will do one for the 5th gen 4Runner as well, so if you guys have a 4Runner, wait for that, or you can get the ideas from this one and kind of see where we're going. But the mods will be different with the brands that we're going to be using for the 4Runners. So if you want to wait, just wait. If not, then you can kind of figure it out with what you see on our website. So let's go ahead and talk about the Tacoma first. Alright, so we're going to pop the hood and talk a little bit about that. So today's a pretty wet day here in Denver, Colorado, so the truck is a little bit wet, but that's gonna be fine. Before we get into this video though, I do want to show you guys a couple other trucks that we're working on today. I don't think we've shown you guys the new shop yet, but we'll do a separate video for that. But today's kind of a Tundra day. White Tier D Pro and a Quicksand Off-Road. Funny enough, they both have the iCamper SkyCamp on top of it, just like our Tundra. But this one, we're dechroming it. We did a Switch Pro on it. We're going to do a front grille on this one, which is right here, which we had painted Quicksand for him to swap out, color matched and everything. We got the color code scanned it just to match it perfectly. And then this Tundra over here, we're doing a airbag cradle, so that way you don't lose any of the travel. And we're doing a 1.5 inch add leaf to this, so he actually tows with his truck, so having that cradle with the airbag is a must for him. And he lost some height when he added the SkyCamp, so we went ahead and did the 1.5 inch add leaf on that. So both of these are pretty cool. This one here has a Yakima bed rack on it currently. He is going to be switching over to the up top Overland bed rack with the EX rack on top, just like ours, so it sits above the roof or the cab, like the way it's sitting right now. But yeah, that's that. Now let's go ahead and get into this. Alright, so let's talk about the first modification to get some extra horsepower and torque. So as you saw previously, this is the Injen cold air intake, and this one caught our eye because this one actually has 2 ways of collecting the air. The front air dam, which collects from here, from the grill into here, and it gets transferred over to the box. And of course it does go into the fender, which we currently have this up top Overland cold air snorkel, which we'll do a video on this later. I know everybody's been asking about that, but they've been working on this for a while now, so there's a lot of stuff that goes into this, so soon. But that gets fed down to here, that goes to a pipe inside and then feeds the cold air intake. If you guys do not have a snorkel, that's completely fine, because it does collect air from down here under the headlight, so you're still getting cold air with this Injen cold air intake. A couple things about this intake though, there is 2 different versions. One is the dry air, which is what we have. You can kind of see in there, there's a blue filter, and the other one is an oiled. So it really depends on what kind of terrain you drive in. The oiled one is really good for catching all that dust that is in like deserts and stuff, and you can use soap and water to clean that filter, versus this one you just clean it with compressed air. That's really the main difference. The power gain is pretty much the same, so you'll get about 17 horsepower and around 15 foot-pounds of torque by doing just the cold air intake by itself, not including any of the other mods that are in this video. And that is dyno proven, so there's actually, you know, some kind of science behind it. So with that and the mod number 2, you definitely will feel that power gain. So a lot of people, this is kind of their first go-to mod. It doesn't matter if you're into imports or off-road. This is kind of the number 1 mod a lot of people go to, and Injen has been around for a long time, which is why we chose them, and the front air dam that is right there. But issue with doing just the cold air intake is that it does only produce 17 horsepower, which some people might or might not feel when after installing this. So what I would recommend doing is that doing the cold air intake and the mod number 2, which is right there, which is the Coil Packs, which we're going to talk about right now. So those orange things you guys see there is going to be the second mod. That is the Coil Pack, upgraded Coil Packs by RIPP Superchargers. RIPP Superchargers is the brand. Obviously we don't have a supercharger on here as of right now, but that there is what plugs into your spark plugs, and this is actually dyno proven as well. So these mods are just not, you know, pulling numbers out of the thin air. So these here are 44% bigger than the stock, I believe, and they will give you about 20 to 30 horsepower to the wheels. So these here, along with the cold air intake, will definitely make you feel the horsepower gain that you guys are getting. What I would recommend is what we did is by doing both. So that there, the Coil Packs, will make your spark plugs more efficient, and being that it's bigger than the stock, it will definitely give you a little bit more power as well. If you guys want to check out their video that they did, dynoing their Tacoma before and after, the exact same day with the exact same weather conditions. So this is really nice. I was pretty skeptical the first time I saw these. I was like, I don't really know how I feel about them, but after installing it, you can definitely feel better responsiveness, more horsepower, especially when paired to the cold air intake, because we did do this at the same time, but we did drive it with the cold air intake first and then install the packs, and after doing both, definitely feel the difference. So if you guys can do both, that's what I would recommend you do. Okay, so the third mod is going to be right under here. This one's kind of obvious. Almost everybody does it, but it's going to be your exhaust. So by doing your exhaust, you're getting a lot more airflow, and which translates to more power. And of course, it sounds cooler. So after installing this, you definitely can feel the difference with the other mods included. This one here that you guys are seeing is kind of be our own modified exhaust. So you guys will see this pretty soon. So this here actually dumps right before the axle. So let's see if I can get a closer look. So right there looks good. So that's the tip right there, and the axle is right there. So it dumps right before the axle, and why we have it that way is because we want it as high clearance as possible. Let me see if I can get it from the back. So here's a better view. If you guys do all 3 mods at the same time, you guys will definitely feel a big difference from factory for sure. If you guys do them one at a time, you guys might not feel as big of an increase just because you're progressing that power versus getting all of it at once. Alright guys, let's now go ahead and add up all the extra horsepower you will get from after doing all these. So the first one, the exhaust, you'll get around 15 extra horsepower. And then if you do the coder intake with that, you'll get an extra 17. And then lastly, if you guys do the coil packs, you guys will get an extra 20 to 30. We'll just say 20 on the low end. All that in total, you get around 52 extra horsepower, which you would definitely feel if you guys did it all at the same time. And then the last thing we are going to talk about in this video is going to be the pedal commander. So the pedal commander is probably one of those products a lot of people are actually skeptical about, just because they don't really believe that it works. But after we have installed it, I don't think we will ever take it off. And we actually put it on our 4Runner as well, just to enjoy the drive a little bit more. So I'll explain how this actually works. So the pedal commander is really something that will improve the way you drive, not so much give you more power. And what I mean by that is that it doesn't give you more power like some people might think. So what it actually does is that it plugs right there, right up there, you can kind of see it there. It plugs into your gas pedal, and what it does is that it lets you control how responsive it is as far as the pedal goes. And what I mean by that is how far you actually step down on the gas pedal before it actually goes. So like me, I put it on sport mode pretty much all the time, and I just leave it there, and that allows me to barely step on the gas pedal to get to a higher RPM compared to factory. So basically I would have to step it down maybe a quarter of the way down versus halfway down like I would before. And what that does is just it makes it feel better when you actually drive it, so it doesn't feel like you're giving it that much gas, but in reality you're giving it just as much gas as if you were to step it down halfway down. But it does have a economy mode, which is not great, just because you kind of want to install this to enjoy your drive more, not to save gas. So that one just really cuts down your fuel and everything like that. So yes, you will save gas, but you won't enjoy driving as much. So this one here we threw in because we really enjoy using it with our truck, and this paired with what you guys will see in part 2 of this video is absolutely necessary and absolutely recommended by us, at least. So when you guys watch part 2, make sure you guys get the pedal commander as well. Alright guys, that is going to be it for this video. Hope you guys found it useful. Everything we did in this video, we've actually found results in it, so that's why we showed you guys. We wouldn't show you guys something that we don't like ourselves, just like anything else on our channel. But hopefully you guys can get some of these mods and you guys can see for yourself. We will have everything down in the link, or everything down in the description as always. And if you guys have any questions, let us know. Give us a call if you guys do have questions too. We're here in Denver, Colorado. And yeah, see you guys in part 2. Peace.